Hey everyone, Mitch coming in for the Commander's Quarters temporary studio. Welcome to the show. So finally, some time to breathe and evaluate some of the cards that I didn't have a chance to actually get to because of the barrage of spoilers that happened from the get-go of this exciting set. So yeah, now I'm going to be evaluating a very exciting colorless commander with Graaz, whatever the name is, Unstoppable Juggernaut, and comparing it to some other colorless commanders. There are only so many out there, and this, I think, has a shot of being a sneaky, very powerful colorless commander that I think can sneak toward the top of that colorless list, but we shall see. Only time will tell. Regardless, a 7/5 Legendary Artifact Creature Juggernaut that costs 8, and it's going to attack each combat if able. Well, that and all your other Juggernauts as well. We'll get to that here in a second. Also, your Juggernauts you control can't be blocked by walls, and other creatures you control have base power toughness 5/3 in our Juggernauts, in addition to other creature types. So this is like, hey, you know what? You're all changelings. Well, not changelings. I mean, you are just one specific kind of creature. You are all Juggernauts. Whatever you are, you're that, plus also a Juggernaut. And most likely you are probably somewhat larger than you are usually, again, making them into 5/3s. That base power and toughness boost is incredible, and that can have a massive impact on the game. Now, obviously, there's a slight downside to this in that you have to attack each combat if able. That's okay. We'll talk about some ways to ensure that we do have some blockers back as well if you need them. And of course, on top of that, hey, if you're playing against your friends, Arcades the Strategist deck, they're going to be in trouble because they can't block your creatures. So yeah, I mean, your opponents, having walls, that might only apply to, very specific times you're playing against, a walls tribal deck or, a changeling deck. But yeah, that is just kind of funny that the opponent's walls just can't block you. You're just, coming through with your Juggernauts. Regardless, yeah, I think this commander has a good amount of potential. Yes, it does cost a good amount of mana, but we can really focus on, well, some ways to utilize our colorless mana in the best ways and kind of just have this as just all right, we'll set ourselves up, we'll set our board up, and then, yeah, just put this into play when we are ready to swing out for a ton of damage because, yeah, it can be a massive boost. Now, with these kind of quick takes, I'm going to be taking you through some budget buys, which are cards that are less than $1, so they fit within my budget, and also cards that are outside of my budget, those pricier picks. So with all that said, let's jump into the cards. And it's early, okay? I'm already forgetting what order I have things in. My apologies. But before we do that, before we jump into those cards, really quick, let's just compare this brand new commander to some of the more popular colorless commanders. Again, there are only so many out there. Kozilek the Great Distortion is at the top of the list, a heavy hitter itself, a 12/12 Eldrazi for 8 colorless. Basically, when you cast it, you're drawing back up to 7 cards. You're getting a full grip. It has menace, and you can also discard cards with converted mana cost X to counter spells with a converted mana cost X. Now, this is a pretty powerful commander. There's just not a slight downside to it, but one of the downsides to it is, it kind of lends itself more toward a Voltron strategy versus a go wide strategy. And when it comes to comparing a lot of Voltron decks to a lot of go wide decks, it's not always, a one-to-one comparison, with certain commanders. Typically, your go wide strategy is going to be more effective because you're not all in on a singular creature like this one. Now, that being said, Kozilek obviously can hit very hard. It's a 2-shot KO already, and if you give a double strike, it's a 1-shot KO. My gut says, though, that this Juggernaut does have more potential with the right build. Next up, Karn Silver Golem. Now, this one is more of a combo commander. It does have some very specific combos that can win, depending on your playgroup, depending on your LGS. Those might not be all that welcome, depending on, what kind of a playgroup or LGS you have, when it comes to combos. So Karn, yes, with, the hyper build for Karn, probably is going to be more powerful than our brand new one, but we shall see. Liberator, Urza's Battlethopter, is a newer colorless commander. Flash flying, cast color spells and artifact spells as though they had flash. Whenever you cast a spell, the amount of mana spent to cast spells greater than Urza's power, get a counter on the Liberator. All right, and I said Urza's power, the Liberator's power. You know what I mean. Regardless, the most important part is basically being able to cast things at flash speed. Basically, you have a Dalkin or in your command zone. Pretty powerful as well. That being said, yeah, you're not going to be taking your opponents out with, Urza's Battlethopter anytime soon. without, I should say, a lot of other help. Regardless, yeah, you can go wide with this. You can utilize a lot of fantastic colorless and artifact spells, and again, very effectively on your opponent's turns as well. But again, this brand new Juggernaut just has that little something, I think, that is going to be a bit underrated in my opinion. And again, I don't think it should be. I think that, well, it's going to be a very heavy hitter. Again, you fill your board up and you can just swing out on the right turn by pumping your team quite a bit. Because, yeah, when it comes to some budget buys, there are plenty of ways to actually fill up the field with a lot of creatures. I mean, the first one that comes to mind is Mirror Battlesphere. Enters the battlefield, you're getting 4 1/1 colorless mirror artifact creature tokens. So 5 bodies for the price of 1 creature coming into play. And obviously, if you got ways to use and abuse the CTB, you definitely can and get more and more into play. Regardless, though, I mean, just with this coming into play, getting you those tokens, getting those 5 bodies on the field, they're all going to be Juggernauts, right? And then they're all going to be 5/3s with your commander in play. That is 25 total power in 1 package. Next up, how about Inquisitorial Rosette? It's got whenever equipped creature attacks, create a 2/2 white Astartes Warrior creature token with vigilance that's attacking. Then attacking creatures gain menace until end of turn. So it's going to help out in multiple ways. Number one, it's going to keep making you a creature token every single time you attack with that equipped creature, which of course, yes, is just a 2/2. But when it's a Juggernaut as well, which it will be, it's a 5/3. And of course, it gives all your attacking creatures menace, which is massive. A great way to get them through on your opponents and to make them much more difficult to block. And of course, I mean, we've got other ways, other attack triggers to make more and more creature tokens like Captain's Claws, a lower to the ground equipment, +1/+0. Cruel creature attacks, you get a 1/1. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Again, that is a 1/1 or a 2/2. Whatever kind of a creature token we have, it is going to be a 5/3 Juggernaut. So yeah, just again, very efficient, very effective way to start flooding the board quite early. Moving on, Enchanted Carriage. Yeah, this innocuous vehicle, a 4/4, enters battlefield, gives you 2/1/1 white mouse creature tokens. Yes, you can crew this up, but also, yeah, I mean, just basically, hey, potential of 10 power between those 2 tokens just by getting them into play, and also, having a vehicle stick around as well that you can utilize in various ways. Great as well. Throne of Vampires. Hey, just pay 1, tap, you get a 1/1 white soldier creature token. Now, if you've got, 5 tokens instead, if you've got, both Crown of Vampires and Scepter of Vampires, sure, you can build around getting those as well if you really want to, and that can be very impactful. But even just getting that singular token for just 1 mana each turn, just pretend it's a 5/3 instead. And yeah, you'd pay 1 mana each turn to make a 5/3. Speaking of which, Trading Post has a lot of different abilities. All of them cost 1 and tap. Trading Post has discard a card, you gain 4 life. Pay 1 life, create a 0/1 goat creature token. Sacrifice a creature, turn target artifact card from your graveyard to your hand. Sacrifice an artifact, draw a card. So a very big utility knife for your deck. But yeah, when it comes to actually making a creature token, you're only getting a 0/1. But again, that doesn't matter. It's going to be a goat Juggernaut because that's the thing now. That is a 5/3. But perhaps one of the deadliest cards that you can utilize is a Rochi Hatchery. It's going to enter the battlefield with X charge counters on it. And yes, there are ways to obviously get more and more charge counters on it with proliferating, etc., etc. Regardless, pay 5, tap, put a 1/1 green snake creature token on the battlefield for a charge counter on it. So yeah, I mean, let's just say you have, 5 charge counters on this. Every single turn by paying 5 mana, you can make 5 1/1s, which again, in reality with your commander, are 5/3. So that's 25 power each and every single turn. You can flood the board quite quickly with this and take over the game. You can even take over the game with lands like Foundry of the Consoles and Spawning Bed. Foundry of the Consoles is going to tap for a colorless, but also pay 5, tap, sacrifice it. You get 2 1/1 Thopters with flying, which again are going to be 5/3 flyers that you can get through on a lot of players. Spawning Bed can give you even more creatures though. Pay 6, tap, sacrifice it. You get 3 1/1 Eldrazi Scions that you can sacrifice for mana. Or again, basically, this land is making you 15 power worth of creatures over 3 bodies. That is fantastic. And yeah, there are plenty of lands that you can consider, again, with this kind of utility colorless, strategy that you can utilize and that you can take over the game with. But now moving on to pricier picks, again, cards that are outside of my budget of less than $1. Field of the Dead, yet another land that can be incredible with this kind of a deck. Enters the battlefield, taps for a colorless. When it or another land enters the battlefield under your control, if you control 7 or more lands with different names, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Again, we are in a colorless deck. We can utilize a lot of utility lands because even for our land only taps for a colorless, which it has to, that is going to be exactly what we need. And yeah, there's plenty of just great utility lands. This one is one that can flood the board with zombies. And again, those zombies normally be 2/2s, which is still not bad, but now they are 5/3 zombie juggernauts that can just decimate our opponents. Speaking of decimating, Skittering Invasion, 7 mana. This is going to make us 5/0/1s, which we can sacrifice for mana. And yeah, this is usually just a nice little kind of boost of mana, maybe some blockers if we really need them. But with this deck, with this commander, that's 7 mana again for 25 total power. Good luck, opponents. Ujin the Inevitable. Color spells you cast cost those to cast, so that's already a fantastic effect. Just having that on this Planeswalker is incredible. But on top of that, +1, exile the top card of your library face down and look at it. Create a 2/2 colorless spirit creature token. That token leaves the battlefield for the exile card in your hand. Again, a 2/2. That's nice. A 5/3, much better. So yeah, we can get a lot of value out of this. We can get a lot of power out of this throughout the game. Moving on, Oketra's Monument. Whenever you cast a creature spell, you're getting a 1/1 with Vigilance. So every single time we cast a creature spell, again, we are getting additional value. And normally that'd just be a 1/1, which is still nice, but now it's going to be a 5/3. And again, keep in mind, it does have Vigilance, so we can still have blockers back. And yeah, kind of with all these token generators as well, you can always just have blockers back, essentially. Just like, oh, okay, yeah, you're going to attack me. Sure, I'll utilize Trading Post to make a blocker. Awesome. Anyways, Thunderhawk Gunship. When it enters the battlefield, create 2/2/2s with Vigilance. Again, those are going to be 5/3s for us, which is huge. On top of that, whenever this attacks, attacking creatures we control gain flying until end of turn. This can be an incredible way to get our army through. And again, we can hit really hard. And now being able to get through, being able to just actually get that damage in can be incredibly deadly. Speaking of deadly, Mere Incubator. My goodness, can this be a game-ending play? Pay 6 tap, sacrifice a life for any number of artifact cards, exile them, they make that many 1/1s. Already a game-ending play in a lot of scenarios, but now with this one especially, we're like, okay, normally they'd just be 1/1s. Let's get rid of, I don't know, maybe 30 artifacts in my deck. Okay, we're going to exile those. Cool, 30 1/1s. Usually already, enough to, at least take out one player. With this, though, it's like, okay, yeah, they're 1/1s, but they're also now 5/3 Mere Juggernauts. And, yeah, it's 150 power. Good luck, opponents. And speaking of Mirror, next up, Mirror Turbine. It can just tap to make a 1/1 for free every single one of our turns. And again, a 1/1 for free, that's nice, but it's actually going to be a 5/3 for free every single turn. On top of that, we can tap and tap to 5 mirrors we control and search for life for a mirror put on the battlefield, then shuffle. So if we really want to do that, we can. And one mirror that we might go get is Plague Mirror. I mean, probably the mirror that we're going to get first, though, is, Mirror Battlesphere, because that's 25 power. But you never know. Plague Mirror is also an adorable mirror that can really help us out. First up, I mean, early in the game, this can be a great mana dork for us. Just a 2 mana 1/1 mirror, which again is a 5/3, and that really impacts it with Infect. Because again, when this is a Juggernaut mirror, thanks to our commander, a 5 power Infect creature is a 2-shot KO on any opponent. So this thing can be incredibly deadly. Speaking of which, Inkmoth Nexus, even one of our lands can hit incredibly hard. Pay 1, it becomes a 1/1 Blink Moth artifact creature with flying and Infect until on turn. It's still a land, so yeah, we can just say, oh, I play this land. Okay, cool. Next turn, let's just turn to a creature. And yeah, it's a 5/3 Juggernaut, Blink Moth artifact creature with flying and Infect coming through at you. So yeah, this can definitely be a very deadly card. And again, it has a lot of potential with a commander like this. So yeah, I think at the end of the day, only time will tell just how popular this commander is going to be, how powerful it's going to be. And yeah, I mean, I think it does have a lot of potential. Again, a pretty big creature itself. One that, yes, does force your creatures to attack each combat. But again, like I talked about, we've got plenty of ways to ensure that we've got blockers back as well. And being aggressive can be a very good thing with a commander like this. And again, the potential to pump our team, basically, times 5 power for many of our creatures is massive, and it can really help us out again by focusing on going wide. We can utilize this as a fantastic finisher to get down, to pump our team, to get things through. And yeah, again, your Arcades the Strategist friends are going to be very, very, very scared when you pull this out against them because, yeah, they've got walls. Also Changeling decks too. But yeah, if you are interested in this commander, make sure you check out my card list link in the description below for the cards I talked about on this episode. And with that, today's episode is coming to a close. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what your thoughts are on it in the comments below. And of course, as always, thanks again and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. We also have a ton of brand new t-shirt designs in stock, so make sure you check out those as well. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG Player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.